I love one of the things what you said is that you learned a lot and you had a lot of equity in that. And I think a lot of people can feel confined in a captive space, but what they don't realize is all the stuff that you're learning is really your equity. And to the point of what you did, it's like you learned a bunch, you had all that equity and you were able to transition out. Now, that might make some captive people like realize your worth, realize that you can do it regardless, and then that'll make it feel less confined, I think. You know what I mean? Too. Because I think when you are captive, you feel a little confined, but it's like, dude, you're crushing it. Like you could leave if you wanted to, but it might
Yep.
make you feel a
And
little bit better staying.
I do want to give the time that I spent there the credit it deserved because it really did give me the space and the platform and, whatever I really needed that I could absorb from them to allow me to learn how to do better in the next phase, in the next chapter. And if I didn't have that, I probably wouldn't have been as successful in the short time of independent agency that I have been and looking forward. And what's great is that suddenly my team members got tastes of what it's like to write $500,000 policies and they're like, huh, I could do this. And all of a sudden 3 months later there was another one. And it's like these are the type of things that I only dreamt of, right? Like year 1, year 2, year 3, even year 5. Like I was like, people do that, people pay $500,000 in insurance. We're like, yeah, they do. So when you get over certain levels, you almost laugh at yourself that that was a dream once it's
Yeah.
realized, and then you start dreaming bigger, and it's totally possible.
Yeah.
So
We're our worst enemy. We talk ourselves into thinking that we can't do those things. And then
yeah.
it's like, oh, well, that wasn't that hard. Right. It's all
No, it's
and the
not. It's not.
anticipation is worse than the actual thing itself. So
That's what I always say when it comes to so when I coach or consult some of my clients now on, sometimes I'm like, this team member's not working. We got to get rid of them. Like, they're just not working for you. And they're like, but I have to fire someone. And I'm like, I promise you, dealing with this person for another month or two is so much worse than the 5 minutes it's going to take for you to let them go. Like, that was one of the
Right.
things that I'm like, it's really not that bad to have that. I mean, the conversation sucks, but it's like, would you rather deal with them for longer when it's not working out, or set them free and have a 5-minute uncomfortable conversation? And I think that's the kind of mentality, like, yeah, this is going to have some growing pains, but then, you're on the other side and it's great over here. Like, come on over.
Yep.
So, yeah.
so talk a little bit about the other businesses that you've opened now that you've been able to
Yeah.
create the ownership
So
piece.
we have a manufacturing company where we manufacture products in import export from China and then do some e-commerce. And then we have
Well,
a
how'd you get into that?
it's a combination of me and my husband, but also family stuff. So, like I said, I came from a family of entrepreneurs, and sometimes there's just some of them have been opportunities that have presented themselves, and some of them we just kind of fell into. So, that kind of came from like a family thing, and then we just took it over. And then we bought commercial space when we transitioned to independent agency. And so then we tasted commercial insurance. Oh my gosh, commercial landlordship. And so we've actually bought 4 properties since then. So we've become commercial landlords. We have an RV rental business. So we rent
Oh,
RVs,
cool.
people on trips, and a couple other things. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. It's sort of random, but I really enjoy the low investment, high return, and stuff where I can create processes for, and then I can step away where I'm not constantly in the business. So that's really more what I look for when I'm investing or trying to work in another industry. So the e-commerce is probably the biggest one that takes most of our effort, but it's me and my husband kind of doing it. So luckily I have somebody else to help me.